Greetings from Obinukwu Chineke. Today is the 28th, Monday, October 2024, known as Nkwo, a special market day in Igbo land, a day of great light of creativities for the betterment of humanity. You are highly blessed and empowered to be creative in life to support humanity. Through the existence of the wind, water, and sand, that Chukwu Okike Abiyama, our Creator uses to sustain all humans to live and witness His creation to obtain His blessings of creativities to beautify the world and make it a peaceful dwelling of all humans, to have the inner peace that supersedes wisdom of creativities that brings conducive environments. Your tax to pay for being here on earth is to show kindness to your fellow humans, and being kind to your fellow humans is to thank the owner of the wind, water, and sand for granting you the opportunity to witness his wonderful creation. By loving your fellow humans indirectly, you are showing love to your Creator, the owner of all humans and languages. You must admit that wind, water, and sand understand all languages to monitor all talks and involvements to avoid anyone clamming Mr. right after dearth. You must understand that no evil spirits attack humans. It is humans who use spirits to attack their fellow humans. Humans harbored evil plans in their hearts toward their fellow humans, cause of envy. The question here is, how can we stop evil from human hearts? Is it when we stop practicing forgiveness when someone purposely afflicted evil to people's lives? Evil is in a human's heart wrapped with apologies. Oh, forgive me so that your sins will be forgiven. This is the problem of the earth. And how can we stop it? Is to stop practicing forgiveness when anyone commits an evil act against their fellow humans. With this development, people will stop evil wrapped with apologies to continue their evil extensions that cause the world unpeaceful. There is a story of a man who lives an unforgiven life when people purposely offend him. According to the story, his name is Mr. Amadi, a farmer. And the people in his village address him as an evil man because he doesn't forgive whoever wronged him. For that, the people in his village keep their distance from his belongings, and no one steals things from his farm. Not even his fruits, none touches it. And for this reason his farm and fruits multiples for him to sell and make enough income. Amadi lives as a rich man in his village. He has buyers from other communities who buy his crops, and after sales, he gives out the remaining crops to people in the market. Outside his village, people see him as a generous man, but in his town, they see him as evil because he doesn't forgive people who purposely wronged him. And because of his attitude of unforgiven people of his village, become afraid of him and his household. Mr. Amadi was a successful businessman until he joined his ancestors. After Mr. Amadi's death, his children take over his farming business, and with time some villagers who sold their lands to Mr. Amadi start planning how to attack Mr. Amadi's children and collect their father's lands. In the process, they discovered a preacher of forgiveness, and they started using the preaching of forgiveness to approach Mr. Amadi's children to learn how to forgive people when someone offends them, and for doing that, all their father's sins and their sins will be forgiven. They will have everlasting life after death. After a while, Mr. Amadi's daughters began to apply for the word of forgiveness when people went into their farmland and stole the crops, and when some villagers discovered that Mr. Amadi's children were practicing the word of forgiveness. Their father's enemies start accusing their father, Mr. Amadi, of being evil toward them, and that Mr. Amadi forcefully taking their lands, whereby they are lying. They want to see the reaction of Mr. Amadi's children, and when Mr. Amadi's children become weak with the words of forgiveness, their father's hater joins with the foreign preacher of forgiveness, demanding huge land from Mr. Amadi's children to build a place where people will gather and listen to the word of forgiveness. And when they gave out the huge land, their fathers, hater started farming in the land, claiming that they were generating money to build the house of forgiveness. And when they saw that Mr. Amadi's children accepted their lies, they start collecting Mr. Amadi's land from his children with the name of a word of forgiveness that will bring them to the everlasting life after death. And sometimes Mr. Amadi's children become too lazy to continue with the farming business because they don't have enough land to farm. Mr. Amadi's children lost their father's lands when they started to practice the word of forgiveness, when people purposely offended them to test their faith, without knowing that this is the method their father's hater used to collect their land and own every resource in the land to enrich themselves. Today, Mr. Ahmadi's children don't have access to the resources in their land because their father's haters have documented the lands as their owners' lands with the help of the court. Today, Mr. Ahmadi's children, they fighting themselves because of the mistake they made by practicing the word of forgiveness when people purposely took their father's land in the name of forgiveness, that they should be forgiving everybody who wronged them by taking their property. Today, Mr. Ahmadi's children begin to understand the meaning of the forgiveness era as a way for people to have access to others' properties and own their lands. People can kill and destroy others' land to have access to the resources of the land after their evil action. They will present the word of forgiveness with everlasting life after death to convince people that they have destroyed their life by stealing their property. Take note. We can let it go when people mistakenly do something wrong, but not when people purposely do something wrong that destroys lives. We can stop evil minds by never accepting apologies when people purposely do something wrong because evil is what humans generate in their minds. Today, those who brought the word of forgiveness are manufacturing the most dangerous weapon to harass people while stealing from people's land. Since people notice the hiding thing in the word of forgiveness when people purposely take others' land, they start avoiding forgiveness when people kill or take others' property. Today you can see that the world is changing because people starting to make choices about how to better their lands by stopping the preaching of forgiveness when people purposely take what belongs to them. Protect your land from those who going around with the word of forgiveness. They are stealers and destroyers of good homes. What all humans need is to be kind to one another. Stop stealing others' property. Don't destroy others' land. Loving your fellow humans is a tax for every human to have a better land to live. Be hardworking to better your land. And if you don't know how to be hardworking, you can go and learn from those who know. Hardworking to work for yourself and be productive so that others can patronize you. Our brains and 5 fingers are the prosperity of good living of every human on this very earth, governed by the wind, water, and sand. Every human should allow their brain and 5 fingers to improve their purpose in human life. Brain and 5 fingers are very magnetic in creativities. Use them well for things that are supportive of human life, not use them to manufacture things that destroy human life. Be hardworking with your brain and 5 fingers to support yourself and others to better the living of humans on this very earth, governed by the wind, water, and sand. Love your fellow humans and do no one harm because the wind, water, and sand monitor all the activity on this very earth, they holding your life and life of others. Take note. No human can escape from the action that causes them to destroy their fellow human's life, because wind, water, and sand with all humans. Your evil action and your kindness are recorded by the wind, water, and sand that are with you always. You can take a moment in taking of the wind, water, and sand that constantly with you. What is their assignment toward my life, giving me air to breathe or quenching my testy and bringing food for me to eat? So who is monitors of my activities each day of my life? The Spirit that not always with me. So who is monitoring my activity? Does it mean the wind, water, and sand are constantly with me and monitor my activity even though I'm sleeping? For this reason, no human being is free from their evil actions, because wind, water, and sand with every human and monitor all the activities without a single mistake. So if thoroughly the wind, water, and sand monitor all human activities, it means with the wind, water, and sand, every human can reach the creator of the humans and languages. You are right. For this reason, I have to be careful about anything that consigns human life, to avoid making myself evil to my fellow humans, because the wind, water, and sand that sustain humans' life are the monitor of humans' life. At least I understand the mission of the wind, water, and sand in human life. I'm free from generating evil in my mind toward my fellow humans. Be free from generating evil actions in your mind toward your fellow human, because the wind, water, and sand that constantly sustain all human lives are the monitors of every human's activity on earth, to avoid blacklist after death. Keep in mind that the wind, water, and sand are with you always to monitor your activity. For you to present love to the Creator of all humans and languages is to love your fellow humans, not harm anyone. Just be kind, and always be watchful to resist evil from anyone. Have a limit in everything you are doing because your life is limited on this very earth. From Obi Nukwu Chineke, The Blessings of the Universe. From Onye Ndu, Ikuku Achinike, The Messenger of the Truth Afterlife.